Test. Hey there guys, Francis and Did. Welcome to my channel and the program. So it's Friday again, and I guess I ought to make a video on each and every Friday, and I should prioritize making more YouTube vids, sharing my thoughts and ideas and my life experiences with the rest of the world. Lest I waste my time watching more pornos, fapping more with my silicone X doll. So I think I should thank God for that. I should have thanked God that I should have thanked him for having imposed some limits on my sexuality and my competence and my capabilities of having sex. Otherwise I might self-destruct due to pervasive and prolonged exposure to perverts, to pornos. But regardless, tonight I like to talk about a common topic: friends and relationships with friends. So first of all, when I begin to mention friends, perhaps lots of memories might start flashing in your minds, in your brains. Well, true. Even the strongest man needs friends, and we will certainly get to meet a variety of people during this life we have gained from God on this planet called Earth. So basically, yes, making contacts with other people is absolutely and definitely inevitable. It inevitably we expose ourselves to the opportunities with learning from others, characterized by the frequent and regular imitation and mimicry from other people's patterns and sets of behaviors, as well as speech and patterns of languages. That's essentially and effectively how we acquire the command and the vocabulary, the grammar of all kinds of languages. So pretty much, we need somebody else's company to, first of all, to learn how to live a life as a human being, as an individual human being who is capable of interacting with a variety types of people who came from a variety of cultural, geographical, and socio-economic backgrounds. So pretty much, you will become whom you choose to be your companies, whom you choose to accompany you during this journey on planet Earth called life. So, there are some, in fact, there are some variables and mission parameters that go, that went beyond our limit of reach. So, there are some, yes, random, randomly predetermined, uncontrolled variables. While we get in touch with a variety of types of people, and here I like to point out that you should not be, you should not feel too shameful or too too disgraceful or too disgraced about having very few friends, because you know what, the number of Facebook friends on your Facebook will not determine how much comfort and how much joy, how much happiness, or how much how much degree of recovery you will receive right after some traumatizing experiences, such as unemployment, such as divorce, such as the disease of a or the demise of a particular family member of yours. So, but basically, when it comes down to it, when it comes when it comes at a time of extreme degree of distress and desperation, it will almost always be your grandparents, your aunties, uncles, and your parents will help you, to get back on your feet, most likely, and most frequently. So, before you like to become someone of high degree of popularity, high degree of attractiveness, before you choose to become someone charismatic, even among those strangers, those acquaintances, I like you to take a moment of pause and start thinking about what and who truly matters to you. Like I have mentioned in my previous video on YouTube, if you don't know what you truly want, and if you have utterly no idea about what truly matters to you, essentially you won't acquire genuine happiness and joy throughout your entire life. People, like I said, people nowadays they suffer and struggle most of times due to the fact that they work and they pursue towards a certain goal so diligently and yet so blindly, because they are blind. They don't know where they will, where they are going, and they have utterly no idea where they will eventually reach. Basically, they are just chasing after the wind. They are just chasing after the mystery. The world, the worldly indoctrination that has fed their brains, their minds. So yeah, I have made the same mistake while I was like, while I was like 22, 23 years old. I was still in college. I was in college, beginning from sophomore year two at uni in college at the University of Sydney. Well, I don't know, but somehow my parents, while I was still very young, you know probably they started to to teach me about how to forge a or why I should be forging some sort of friendship, some sort of relationship with pretty much any type of people. So in fact they um they 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 basically pretty much indoctrinated me, and this unconsciously deceived me into believing that the number of the number of people you know about, and the number of friends you manage to make in school and in uni, in colleges, will pretty much determine the the success of your life, the outcomes of everything, of every goal you choose to attempt and accomplish. So yeah, and then I since I fell victim to this kind of indoctrination and deception, I I tried quite hard, to acquire as many friends as possible during my college sophomore and senior year. So, and I suppose, and I reckon this 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 futile effort trying to make as many friends as possible, in fact, had me kicked out from the University of Sydney, the Department of IT and Engineering, the School of Chemical and Biomolecular Engineering. So if effectively I lost my own my own belief, and that had me got off from the grid. Only until very recently I have become to to regain focus on getting back on track of my life. So the lesson I learned was quite unpleasant, but not yet not so not so in vain. I have still managed to salvage something useful from from these mistakes, from this nearly lethal, fatal mistake I made during my years of college. So yeah, it pretty much determines, God pretty much determines, whom will be your genuine and true friends. Though you will never know whom, who exactly will become the most, the truest, the most genuine friends of yours. And not just sometimes, but let's assume that most usually and most of the times, those friends will eventually, will will either eventually betray you, or they will eventually go in separate ways, and become disparate and distanced from you over time. Since they're, since as time passes, you and your friends, will have less, will have less and less in common, and will have fewer and fewer things, experiences to share with. And then just imagine, entropy always increases in this universe, and over time, the friendship, the bonds, the connection you manage to forge with that particular person or that particular group of person will eventually randomize and disintegrate it by itself spontaneously. So yes, unless you actively or proactively do something about it, unless you have some sort of plans to maintain and to maintain, to look after, and to how should I put it, to orchestrate the friendship itself, to orchestrate the points, the paths, the linear or non-linear tracks you plan to, or you thought you might cross your paths with those, with those particular group of persons, or that certain person whom you think will forever be your friends, or or whatsoever. Yeah, so it's sad that it's a, though I hate to admit it, but it is a fact, and it is a truth, and truths can, truths and facts usually don't make you that happy. Truths and facts usually make us very very upset. However, the pain, I firmly believe that the amount of joy and happiness of the truths and facts will eventually outweigh and will also eventually overwhelm, outweigh, and overcome, the amount of sadness and bitterness it brings. Because you know what, the truths are that you need to bring something or do something to help your friends with, as a form or type of exchange or trade, in order to trade for a return favor from your friends. So as long as we choose to to befriend with or to befriend humans, we will have to think about how we should return the favor from time to time, and that can seriously distract us from acquiring and from keeping the passion for pursuing the ultimate truths. And by maintaining the friendships we are not supposed to have, or we are not we are not meant to have. So even if we try our very best, we struggle, no matter the suffering we have to endure, no matter how much amount of suffering we have to endure, trying to maintain, trying to cling on the friendships we are not meant to have. We are doing nothing more but fooling ourselves. We are merely chasing the winds. We are not pursuing those we are not pursuing those things. We are not pursuing those that truly matters to us. So I hope I made my points clear regarding such matter. And basically it is a poison, and and it's sad that the society now, this world, always keeps feeding us with those crabs, and yet very few persons seem to know the truth. So I'm sorry, but I have to feed you this piece of red pill, though it can make you feel very unpleasant. However, if any one of you wants to talk to me about philosophy, about the Bible, about God, about the life experiences you have encountered, please feel free to talk to me over Google Hangouts or WhatsApp, or a direct international phone call. So I suppose I'm done talking for tonight. I hope you have enjoyed this video, and I sincerely hope you are enjoying your weekend and your Friday. But do remember, you still have me, you still have God, you still have Jesus during times of distress and extreme desperation. So, just in case of need, help will be one phone call away. Help will always be as near as one phone call away, or a hangout call away, or WhatsApp call away. So, thank you again for watching and listening. I'm your host, Francis Undead. Stay tuned, stay blessed, stay faithful. I shall see you on the next video on YouTube. Bye bye. Cheers.